Traffic stops are one of the most dangerous encounters a police officer can have during the course of their shift. According to FBI statistics from 2001 to 2009, 95 police officers were killed and over 4,700 were assaulted during the course of a traffic stop. I'm here today to provide some tips on what can safely and stressfully get you through a traffic stop. I've been a police officer for over 7 years, conducted hundreds of traffic stops of my own, and assisted with hundreds more. I'm going to explain what types of things may get you pulled over, what to do, how to properly pull over, and what to do once you're pulled over to make it a less stressful experience for you and the police officer. Let me first explain what types of things may result in you being pulled over. You may be stopped for a few different reasons. Moving violations, such as disobeying a stop sign, running a red light, or speeding. Equipment violations, such as having a headlight or tail light out. In more rare cases, you may be stopped due to an investigation that's ongoing. An example of this may be if a bank was just robbed and the suspect was said to have fled in a blue Mustang and you're driving a blue Mustang, you may be stopped and identified to ensure that you are not the suspect. Now that I've explained the most common reasons that you may be stopped, let me explain how to properly pull over once you realize you're being pulled over by a police officer. Once you see a police officer behind you and you see his emergency lights and sirens have been activated, you need to start yielding to the right side of the roadway. If you're in a high traffic area, I would recommend that you pull onto a side street or into a parking lot, as that would be safer for you and the police officer. Just make it obvious that you're going to pull over so the police officer does not think that you are trying to elude him. Now that the stop has occurred, here are a few tips that you should do during the course of your contact with the police officer to make it less stressful for you and him or her. You have to keep in mind that police officers have to constantly imagine what the worst possible outcome could be. Not knowing what to expect while walking up to a vehicle or knowing what bad thing could happen can make it a stressful situation for a police officer. Here are a few basic tips for the course of the traffic stop to make it less stressful for you and the officer. Stay in the vehicle unless otherwise instructed by the police officer. Don't make movements that would alarm the officer. First thing you should do is put the vehicle in park and then turn the engine off. Roll your windows all the way down. I would especially recommend this for people who have tinted windows on their vehicle, as it's hard for police officers to see into the car and determine whether there's a threat inside or not. Put your hands on the steering wheel in the 10 and 2 position so they can be clearly seen by the officer. Don't start getting your driver's license or your insurance information until the officer is up to the car. You reaching around in the vehicle can alarm the officer. They may think that you're reaching for a weapon or trying to discard contraband. Be friendly and polite upon contact with the officer. Wait for instructions from the officer. This is a good time if you have a weapon such as a gun or a knife in the vehicle that you think the officer should know about, to let them know where it may be and what it is so they aren't alarmed later throughout the stop. At this point, the officer may ask you to step out of the vehicle if you have a weapon, just as a safety precaution. Most likely the officer is going to ask for your driver's license and your insurance information. I would recommend having this information easily accessible, typically above your visor or in an area of your vehicle where the officer can easily see you reach for it, so they don't think you're reaching for something that you shouldn't be. Once the officer has made contact and collected your information, they're going to return to their car and complete any warnings or citations that they feel necessary. They will then return to your vehicle and issue these items to you. Continue to remain still in the vehicle throughout this entire process. Once the officer has issued the citations and warnings to you, this is also a good time to ask any questions about the contact that you've had with him or her and the warnings and citations that have been issued. Let's review what we've discussed today. Today we discussed how to properly pull over once you've determined you're being pulled over by a police officer, and steps to take to make it less stressful for you and the police officer. As Frank Edruscould of the Republican Herald has said, situations that escalate during a traffic stop often do so spontaneously and end with results that usually are not good. Following the tips I have given today, I hope you can get through your next traffic stop safely and stress-free.